All right, guys, LP with S&W Service and Repair. Today, we're going to be talking about first call completes. This is something that we really like to have in the appliance repair business because you get your money a lot faster and you don't waste money by running backwards, going out to the customer's house, doing service diagnostics, then going picking up parts, then going back to the customer's house. So if you're actually picking up parts, then you really are going out, going to pick parts up, going back to the customer, and do not mess around and misdiagnose. Then you're going to be back again 4 or 5 times. So we're trying to minimize the amount of trips that we see the customer. That also limits the liability that we have, because sometimes when you go in a customer's house, you're pulling out appliances, you're pulling out dishwashers, you're moving refrigerators, you're moving ovens. There's potential to damage the floor. There's potential to damage other things. Like if you go over there for an oven, they've been cooking. You mess around and set a package down. Now, the oven's hot. You mess around, melt plastic on there. You're scraping that off, trying to get that, together, trying to not have to pay for something else, mess around, scratch something. Yeah, there are a lot of different things that could happen when you go up into a customer's house 2 and 3 times. So we're trying to have as many trips as we can. Now, that's not always possible, especially working with the warranty companies. If you just starting out and you don't have a lot of money, then you will be working your way up to first call completes. But right now, you will not be able to do that because most warranty companies aren't going to give you the parts ahead of time. There are a few, I work with 1 or 2 that will let you pregame and then you send back the parts you don't use, but that's not all of the companies. So I want you guys to take, if you're not at that stage right now, just check this out and you can implement this later on. But right now, this isn't going to be for you if you don't have your money up, if you're just starting out. But today, I got a checklist for first call completes. This will be down below in the description. I'm going to give it to you for free. So if you guys want this checklist that I'm about to go over, then go down in the description. It's going to be the first one in the link, and you can get this for free. I'm not charging you anything for it, okay? All right, so the first thing we want to do is get our work order. We want to reach out to the customer. You're going to reach out to the customer. You're going to ask them for the make and model of their appliance, preferably with a photo. Sometimes some of the letters going to look like O's and zeros. They'll get them confused. So you want to make sure that you get get a photo of it. If you can get a photo of the model number and the serial number, you're way ahead of the game. That's going to let you be able to grab your service manuals, and it's also going to be able to let you go to the Appliance Blue Book. If this is one thing that I suggest that all you guys have is the Appliance Blue Book online, not the paper one. So when I go to my Appliance Blue Book, let's see. Get over to my computer, see if I pull this up for you real quick. It's going to probably want me to log back in. Yeah, so give me 1 second. I'm going to log in so that you guys can see what I'm actually talking about. And I'm doing it off camera because you know why. I don't have to explain to you. You guys are real smart. And I believe in you guys. So... and I did it too fast. It said that the username and password is wrong, and I see why right there. Yep, typing a little bit too fast. Bam, we're good to go right there. So when you log into the Appliance Blue Book, it's going to look like this right here. I got a number of tabs open, but you want to go over here to Diagnostic. Let me go to a call that I received on yesterday. We did not get the work order. Well, actually, wasn't a work order. It was a COD customer, and he was wanting to get prices beforehand. So, and he couldn't tell me what was wrong with the appliance. He just told me what he thought needed to be changed. And that is never a good way to go about going into a situation here. So, the customer already thinks he knows what's wrong with the appliance, and he just wants a price. That's something that I need to get away from. Let's see. So he had a Whirlpool range, and he just told me that it needed a thermostat. How did he know that? I asked him, and he said he did a quick Google search. Never really a good idea. But anyway, so when you pull up your Appliance Blue Book, it's going to look similar to this. See if I can. All right, so we have the model number right here. It's going to be WFE515S0JS0. Whirlpool range. So you'll see right here, it'll tell you some of the things that are most commonly wrong with this unit. This is the exact match on this side over here. Those are similar matches. So we want to stay in the exact match if we can. So right over here, the control panel, 12%. The control board is at 11%. The terminal block, so I can tell right now if the terminal blocks are going out that much, then we're having a problem back there with wires burning up. So, infinite switch, they're always bad. Burner switch and sensor. So sensor says 25% of the time. So, I'm sure that's where he got that from when Google or wherever he put it into, if it was ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever, told him that it might need the sensor. And there's your oven sensor right there. And I use Day and Compass, Reliable, and Marcone, Appliance Parts Company, rarely. And it'll tell you who has it in stock. So like Day has one in Dallas, Reliable and Richardson. Let's see if we can get this to pull up Marcone. Yeah, Marcone pulled up now. So in Denton, they have 41 of them in stock, so that would be where I would grab that from if I needed to. But anyway, so we'll just grab that, go over here to the Appliance Blue Book. We'll go down to, cooking. It's going to be under cooking. I went way too far. A Whirlpool right there. We'll slap that in, pull that up. Front access loan. Yeah, we do 3-inch. Let's see. So $314.89 would you be charging for that repair? And look at that. And it took away everything. But anyway, so this is one of the ways that I would pregame. I would look at the things that are most commonly affected by the but for that appliance, whatever's most commonly that goes out. So that'll give me kind of a general range of what I'm looking at and what could be the problem. But if he would have, gave me the actual issue, he just gave me the part. So I was already going in kind of skeptical that I want to get that call. And let me give you something. He called me about 3-something. I was putting up from a previous call that I had just finished up on, and I was kind of jotting down everything. And I was like, just send me a photo of the model number. And then I asked him, he tried to tell me what was going on. And I was like, okay. Well, no. He was trying to tell me what was wrong, what needed to be fixed. And I needed to know just what was wrong. And he couldn't really give me that. He's like, well, it had an error code. And I asked him for the error. And he was like, well, I slept since a couple hours ago, so I don't know. So it was already, in my mind, a situation I really didn't want to go off into like that, because he already wants a price. And if you give somebody a price like that, then we're already on shaky ground if things change. Because a lot of times customers like this just want the cheaper price. They just want, the lowest price if they can. And they're already trying to diagnose the problem. So, a lot of times it's best to let these guys go to Amazon and do their own thing, exhaust the experience that they have, and then have to call someone else in, because you'll go over there and he want that cheaper price, man. So let's go back over here to my worksheet, and we'll go right now. It's that one. Yeah, this is the zero callback worksheet. All right. So setting the stage for a professional experience and protecting your liability. The first thing is, once you get all that information, if it's a warranty call, you want to go ahead and pregame. You want to go to your Appliance Blue Book like I just showed you just then, and then you want to see what the most common things are. You also want to make sure you got a pretty good accurate description of what is going on with the appliance. So a lot of times, like right now with my back office, they are just repeating the prompt to them, repeating what was said in the work order. When they do those work orders, a lot of times they just tapping buttons or just giving the most vague thing so that they can get the work order pushed through, because they've been on the phone with these customers, or the prompts were so long online that they're just, like exhausted. They just want to get this work order pushed through. And they're not really being as honest with that process as they can be. So you want to make sure that your back office know the questions to ask to get the correct answers, so that you'll know what you're walking off into. Man, I've seen some of everything for as the prompts. I mean, for as the what they're putting in those prompts. They'll have like 8 things that's wrong with a dishwasher. I'm like, it can't be that many things wrong with it. But the problem is they're just putting anything on there. So you want to definitely go back, have the back office woman to make, or man, or whoever it is, to make sure that they're asking, the correct questions to get the proper input. And if you don't believe that they can do that, you need to contact the customer and have a 20 to 60 second phone call with them, just to make sure that you have a good grasp of what they're saying the appliance is doing or not doing. Now, they might not be correct with their assessment, but you'll have a better understanding of what's going on. Okay? So once you do all that, you're going to pregame, you're going to pull up your schematics, and you're going to search for available parts. Now, if it sounds like the control board is bad, like I had a washer this past week, the lady said it just came on by itself. We're not taking the control board out there, because a lot of times what happens is these control boards are $200-300. You want to be for sure, and then a lot of times you open them up, and it's hard to take them back, because so many people run scams now. So be for sure if you need a control board, electrical part like that. But if it needs like an oven sensor, you think, or they saying it's not heating to the correct temperature, so you want to get your oven sensor and maybe a bake element. And you'll ask them, hey, is this happening during bake? Is it happening during broil? Sometimes you can just ask them, say, can you turn on the broil and see if you're having the same problem with broil? If like if you're gonna toast some bread. But if they're not, then we know, either we got a problem with the control board not sending voltage down, or, the oven temperature sensor is not right. It's not calibrated right, not sending back the right ohms for the control board to compute. Cool. Yeah, we can have an oven sensor and a bake element on the truck. And those won't be necessarily too high. Now, when you get into specialty brands and some of these like Frigidaire hidden bake elements that you got to bend everything back down or whatnot, yeah, they kind of get more expensive. But, if you get there, it's not going to be a problem to take it back if it's not what you need. Now, as long as you're not just changing parts, like you get there and you just put the oven sensor on, you put the bacon. No. We're really going to test these components. But then once we test the components, we know that we can go ahead and put the parts on, fix the appliance right then and there, and be done. We definitely don't want to have to come back if we can help it. So, all right. So once you get to the job site, you want to make sure you're taking pictures. Take pictures. So if you have to move the oven out, take a picture of the oven just how it is. I'm sorry right there. And then also take a picture of the floor. I want you to take a picture of the floor. When you get there, take a picture of the model number also, so that if you need it for some reason, you'll have it. Even though they might have sent it, you'll have it in your camera roll. Also, you want to make sure once you pull that oven out to take a picture of what's behind it. Because if there's something going on back there, you want to have that documented that you didn't do it. And it was like this once you pull that oven out. Now, if they have wooden floors, now tile floors, you can get away. They're a lot more forgiving. This synthetic wood luxury laminate and stuff, depending on, the color, you might want to make sure that you have your appliance sled so you can put the front two, not wheels, but the front two leveling pads on there and slide it out so that, you're not scraping the floor. A lot of them have the plastic feet on them. Some of them have the metal. You want to make sure that you're not scraping up anything because you took the photo, so you'll know if you did. And you need to be honest with yourself and honest with the customer. Yeah, so we want to make sure we're taking quick photos of the unit, the floor, before we touch anything, before we move anything out. We want to document that. Next, we want to make sure we verify the complaint before we pull it out. So if she says not heating, you want to go ahead and get your, I stopped using my infrared for the most part. With my multimeter, I have leads that I plug in there and it will give me the temperature. So I'll just put that inside the oven and it's very, very accurate. You put that inside the oven and I'll let it heat up. I have a pretty heavy duty magnet on the back of my multimeter, and I can just put it over the handle, flap it down together, and it'll stay just like that. So I can just put my hand behind it, look at it, and then, talk to the customer at the same time. I can show them the temperature that it's reading as we go up and down. So if we're going to start pulling things out, like I said, we're going to make sure we're giving them the red carpet treatment. We're going to protect the floors and the mats. If you have mats, you want to roll those over, let the customer know, or tell the customer, I'm going to have to move these mats. Would you like them in a certain space? And if so, would you like to take them? Most times they tell you, no, don't worry about it, just fold them over. But you want to give them the opportunity to tell you what they want to do because it is their house. You're a guest in their house, so make sure you treat them as such. Okay. All right. So make sure if you're going to be doing any work on any of these appliances, make sure that you check the power, you check the gas, you check the water. Make sure it's definitely off. And if you don't know if it's actually off, I would advise you to figure out how you can actually know for sure. And if you can't, I would advise you to not do the repair. I almost flooded someone's house before. Their water did not turn off. It was off. It showed to be off. It was not off. Water shooting out. It was just a crazy, crazy thing. But I do have a video talking about that. So if you want to check that out, we can link the video in the up top somewhere. And let me write that down. Link video, dishwasher flooding. If you want to laugh at me and see my mistakes, you definitely can. All right, so confirm that breaker's off. So what I'll normally do is I will turn the breaker off if I can. If it's a range, I will unplug it. Some ranges are hardwired in, so you might have to find that breaker on that also. But make sure you verify. Gas, I have 3 different sniffers. I have soap and water. I do not play around with gas, and I make sure I walk the customer through every step of the way when I am dealing with gas. I want them to actually see, me actually doing my due diligence and actually doing, going through all the precautions. And I want them to see that so that they feel good about it. And they don't feel like that I'm just doing something and I don't have their safety first and foremost at hand. Because dealing with gas, people get really paranoid about it. I know up north, everyone has gas. Down here, there's a lot more electric. So it's more of a specialty, but I make sure that I'm using yellow pipe dope and I'm going through with my sniffers, and I'm also checking with bubbles. This gives them the added comfort and safety. They feel great. And then you look like you know what you're doing. That's the number one thing when you're dealing with gas and when you're dealing with customers, and they really, really need to feel safe. I get it. So make sure that your utilities are turned off. And if you can't verify that, I would advise you, especially being new into the appliance repair business, don't mess up. Don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt anyone else, okay? Make sure you can verify that the electricity is off, the gas is off, and the water is off before you start a repair. Okay. All right. So we're going to go up here, the repair, the actual work. While the unit is on, check for signs of future failure. So like if I'm inside of a dryer, I'm going to look in there and see if the belts look like they're worn, if the wheels look like they're worn out or they're about to start giving them problems. And then I'm going to call the customer over and say, hey, look at this belt. It's frayed. You might get another week out of it. You might get a year out of it. But what I want to tell you is you will potentially have a problem very, very soon. And I want to give you the heads up. Now that I have this appliance already torn down, it's not going to cost you any more in labor because I'm already touching this belt. So if you would like, we can go ahead and repair this right now. We'll, let you have the old belt. If you want to keep it and look at it, go over it after we finish the repair. And you will not pay more in labor. You'll just pay parts because we're already touching it. Most times they don't give you any problem as long as you're not marking up parts too much, okay? Now, dealing with the warranty company, you're gonna have to make a phone call to see if they want you to do it. A lot of times, like if I need to replace an eyelet pulley, I'm gonna replace the belt anyway. Just depends on which brand it is. So if it's like a Samsung, I normally have plenty of wheels, plenty of belts and eyelet pulleys on the truck, so it's not a big deal. I'm gonna figure it out, or we'll do what we need to do. All right, so but while you're in there, scan, look around, see if there's anything else that we need to check out and to make the customer aware of, and or the warranty company. And that goes along with not getting a call back. First call completes, but if you get a call back, kind of defeats the purpose. Once you start to messing with things and changing out eyelet pulleys, but not changing out the belt, you're going to have more tension with that eyelet pulley. That belt can potentially break. So those are some things that you want to look at and think about before you actually complete the service call. Because a lot of times, say, hey, this is what we're supposed to do. This what we need. Now, if this is a COD call and the customer declines, then you'll just let them know, hey, if it breaks, then it'll be this cost because we're gonna have to turn this down again. So don't feel bad, just present the facts. All right, so component verification, compare the new part to the old part side by side to ensure the exact match before installation. That's always great. Even when you working on cars, I do that. Sometimes things change just a little bit, but for the most part, they're all going to be pretty well identical. You don't want to go around putting things on that aren't that don't look right. You can mess around, have a bigger problem later on. So verify your parts before you put them on. We're going to do the connection check, perform a tug test on all of your new wiring. Visually inspecting it just isn't enough. We need that physical tension, so ensure it has a solid crimp. I do this quite a bit. Sometimes I've gotten myself in trouble by pulling a little bit too hard, but for the most part, you want to make sure that you're pulling on these and checking these connections to make sure that nothing just like a dryer down there, especially on the GE dryers where we have the big heating element in the back. That purple wire burns up a lot, and you want to make sure that once you put that new wire on, it's on there, and with that drum going rotating, you don't want that vibration to make that dang on purple wire fall out, and then you back over there, and then you get a live wire inside of your dryer. It could be a problem. All right, so make sure that we are giving it that tug test. Okay. Next, we want to do a visual sweep. Check for all pinch wires, kink hoses, and make sure you don't leave any of your tools off inside of the chassis of like the dryers, or when you take off a panel and put something on, you set down a tip or one of your sockets for your Makita or your DeWalt, and then you'll button everything back up and it's inside of the machine. You definitely want to double, triple check. Try not to put your parts, your tools on the actual appliances. Try to go back and put them back in your toolbox, because that could be a source of a problem. And we definitely don't want to leave things off in there. Excuse me. This right here, whenever I work on cars, this is my big deal. I always got one or two screws left over for the most part when I'm doing a really big job. That shouldn't be. Right now, I bought a van. I'm changing the water pump, timing belt, and all that jazz, and shoot, I done broke some bolts. I broke a bolt in the water pump because of my negligence trying to hurry up and rush. I did not turn my impact back on reverse. I went and did something else where I need to tighten something up, went back to the water pump, and just hit it just a little bit too hard. Now I'm going to have to get an extractor, extract out a bolt from the water pump, from actual engine block now, because water pump's off again. But anyway, we definitely want to make sure we don't have any screws left over when we're when we're repairing appliances. So double check that. Make sure we don't have any screws left, or, in our box when we are finished. All right. This is some stuff right here that we definitely need to take a look at, because a lot of times we'll finish a job and we won't test it under load. So let's go over here to this. All right, so load test is critical. Don't just run a cycle empty. Washers and dryers, throw a few wet towels in to simulate weight and balance. Dishwashers, ensure spray arms are hitting the targets and actually spraying and moving. I've had one where we had some stuff that was clogged up in that top spray arm before it actually got to the arm, and it was not rotating. So make sure we're doing that. This one here is the refrigerators. Verify frost pattern or temperature drop. Yes. Verification. We definitely have to verify. And I know it's, a lot of times we're definitely trying to get in and get out, but we definitely need to try our best to actually test these components under load. Service and diagnostics is great, but sometimes we definitely need to test these things under load. All right, run the specific cycle that the customer was having a problem in, not just the diagnostic. Run the cycle. That's before I do anything. I always ask them, what cycle do they use on the washer, on the dryer? I just want to know on the bake, what temperature do you normally cook in? You would think it's 350, but a lot of people change it just because you use the standard bake temperature. Everyone doesn't use that standard bake temperature, so you definitely need to make sure that it is heating up, because some people like 400 and 425. That's not me, but that's the customer, and I want to make sure that I am actually completing the task I had a GE wall oven, single oven, and that unit worked 300, 350, 375, 425. The customer wanted to use it at 400. It would not go to 400. For some reason inside of there, it would not go to 400, and that was a huge problem for them. They wanted 400. For me, that wouldn't have been a problem. For them, it was. Had to make sure that it, whatever cycle or temperature they use, we want to make sure that's what it's actually heating to or performing to on whatever appliance it is, the cycle or the setting that they use, okay? All right. What we got next? Okay, so leaking. Yeah, so this is big. Whenever I change out dishwasher fittings or whenever I put in new dishwashers, if I can, I will leave that dishwasher out, hook up everything, and start it before I put it back in so that I will be under there when I'm changing out pumps. So if it starts to leak, it's not under the counter. I can easily assess it, and then I can try and rectify the problem right away. A good tip is to keep the blue paper towels and shop rags on your truck. I'll leave a link in the description for some if you want to grab them from Amazon. It is a small affiliate link, and I will get a couple of cents if you do buy from it. But you need some paper towels or those blue shop rags. Put it up on it, start it. You'll automatically know if there's any moisture, any dripping right away. Same way with washers. You can put that paper, lean the washer back, put that paper all under there. Make sure you have it dry up on the inside, before you do it. You can put that down. Hey, you can check then and see once you start and run it as cycle or run it on the load, you'll be able to see right away. You can take a flashlight, lift it back up, and see if you got any water down there. It saves a lot of time, saves a lot of heartache in case that thing is really leaking, okay, guys? All right, next we're going to do the level and stability. I always try and make sure that I put the appliance back in the same spot and make sure that it's level. If I see that it's unlevel when I'm, before I start the repair or while I'm doing the repair, I try to level it as best I can because I don't want that to be a source of new noises that the customer may hear. So a lot of times, those feet, they take an extra 4 or 5 minutes because they're stuck. Get your crescent wrenches out, loosen them up, keep you some WD-40, and that'll help you, get those feet down and put them level so that you can get in there and get out as fast as possible, but also doing the best job that you can. All right. And this right here is going to be number 4, phase 4, the departure. Turning a repair into a 5-star review. This, well, I will admit, I do not do a very good job of this because I do a lot of warranty work because over here we teach you to keep your job and do calls after work or before work. We don't run out and just go gun-ho into appliance repair. You might not like it. You might get burned out on it. Don't let nobody tell you just to run out there unless you're just not making any money at your job. You hate your job. And you just do not want to go up. You want to fight your manager and all that all the time like that. You might need to go. But if you can, do this for about a year, get good at it, not depend on the money that you're making from the appliance repair, you can bank that, save that to give your nest egg. I would advise that. That's what we teach over here. We're not about for you just to go take off and do appliance repair because somebody said it was a good idea. Screw me. You don't know me as a person. Shit, I could be bad. The rest of these YouTubers could be bad. They could just be telling you something just to tell you something. Get in it for yourself. Try it out. See if you like it. This may not be for you. There's been some guys who got in appliance repair. They like working with the hands, but they didn't like working with customers, so they wanted a more commercial route. Or they wanted something else where, they could take this skill and leverage it with the company and do something a little bit different. So don't put all your eggs in one basket when you start now. You might not like it. I've started several different businesses, and believe me, You're not going to like everything. So give yourself the opportunity to try it out, and then bank you some money, and then bank you some more money, and then talk with your wife, your significant other, and then put your 2-week notice in, do it right in case you got to come back, and then you quit. All right, so white glove cleanup. This is very, very important. If you leave your customer's house cleaner than when you walked in, they'll love you. They love that. I have those rigid vacuum cleaners. I have a big one and a small one. You can pick these up at the pawn shop too. I get a lot of tools from the pawn shop. Pick my small rigid up from the pawn shop for $30. The big one was like $99. Thing's a beast. Both of them are beasts, you know. So I want you to go ahead and make sure you got your vacuum cleaners, because those come in handy. Installing microwaves, installing dishwashers, getting water up. If you want to put, like if the motor went out in the dishwasher, you need to switch it out. You don't want to get water everywhere. Put it down in the hole. First, put it in the dishwasher, get the water out of the dishwasher, and where the filter goes, come back out. Put that hose up in the sky. Make sure all the water goes down into the basket. Then you take your drain hose, get your pair of gloves, latex gloves, dirty ones preferably. You don't want to use your good one. Dirty pair of latex gloves, wrap it around that drain hose, and then wrap it right there where that vacuum cleaner nozzle is. Put them together, and it forms a suction right there, and it'll start sucking all that water out. So do that. Make sure you're not wasting water on the floor, guys. If you do that, customers love you. It might be a little noisy, might be a little loud. They can live with not cleaning up. You clean it up. You got the vacuum already. Kids done wasting little toys and, little Lego blocks and fruit snacks down there. Vacuum all that up. Leave them with a good experience. Leave it cleaner than you started, okay? Yeah, that's that white glove that gets you that 5-star if you want it. I'm bad about that. I got to do a better job at asking for reviews. All right. The trust transfer bag. Oh, yeah. I do this right here. See it? I done ran off. I ran whatever it is. Yep. Offer them the parts. Even on warranty calls, I do this. I offer the customer the parts. I had a magnetron, capacitor, and a diode on the refrigerator. This thing was less than 1 year old. I just changed that stuff out on that bad boy, got him back up and going, put it back in the wall form. Husband was gone. I asked the wife, say, would your husband like these parts so he can see exactly what I changed out? I also had our company name on that label where the parts came. I don't know. I said, you know what? They had put in an old microwave that they had in one of the other rent houses, and they had just, brought it in and kept it. He pulled it down, put the old one in there, and used that till we got the new one, fixed. I just took the old one that he had in there, put in the garage where he had the other microwave, and then I put the boxes on top of it. I said, I know he won't miss it now. It's going to be, the box will be sitting on top of this microwave. So if he doesn't want it, he can just toss it in his trash. But he'll know that we actually came in and we actually changed parts out. We just didn't say it was bad and then did this magic, made it work and didn't do anything. We actually did what we said we were going to do. And that's what the customer likes to see. A lot of times they're going to tell you to chunk them if they're watching you anyway. Yeah. But if they're not, that's a good sign. That will get you a 5-star review if you need it, if you want it. We all need it, and we all should be asking for it. I'm beating this into myself. I'm not beating it into you. I'm beating it into myself because I do not ask for reviews. Why? Because I do a lot of warranty work, and we just signed up a property, a whole apartment, 55 and up, and I'm kind of dreading that. But anyway, yeah, so make sure you offer the customer the parts. That will gain you trust with the customer. The customer can trust you. When a customer trusts you, they want to call you again because they trust you. All right? Educational demo. Don't just show them how it works. Show them how to make it, show them how to keep it working. That's like the dishwashers, cleaning out the filters. You definitely want to make sure you inform the customers, because a lot of customers tell me, oh, I didn't know I was even supposed to take that apart. Yeah, we need to clean that every month. Clean that, get that out of the dryers, the lint trap. You can vacuum off inside there. You see that lint that's down there past that trap? You can actually vacuum inside there and keep a lot of that lint out. Yeah. Keeping the oven clean should be second nature, but most people just don't do it. They just don't do it. You want to remind them and not to use the self-clean if they don't want to pay, especially around October, November, December. But if they just want to use a self-clean, make sure you have a business card to give them. We have the dot cards. I got my wallet on me. Yeah. So ours business card is not like a regular business card. Let me find that bad boy right here. So this is our business card. It is a dot business card. Right there. And it has QR code. They scan that QR code and it'll take them to the website. And then they can save it into their contacts and contact us when they need us again. Now, it was a great idea during COVID. I do think that having a paper card is better, that they can just keep and put on their refrigerator when they need it. But, hey, whatever works. I probably should get some paper cards and have that. So, give everybody the choice, have a little variety. But whatever. All right, so just go over and teach them how to keep their appliance running longer and running smoothly without having to call us back. Education is great. They love that too. Customers love that. Also, because you are the authority. They trust you in their house. They trust you with their appliance. You are the authority. Don't look at it like I'm just starting out. You know more because you've been studying. So make sure you use that to your advantage, okay? Perfect. All right, so after that, we're going to request a review and payment. If you're happy with the service, a Google review helps. And bam, let's see, you can see that right there. If you're happy with the service, a Google review helps our local business capture a signature and payment. So, at the end, you definitely want to remind them that we would definitely be grateful to have a review from you guys. If you enjoyed the service and everything went the way you thought it should, I would definitely, encourage them to write us a review on Google. Now, if you had a horrible experience in the house and things didn't go as planned, I wouldn't be jumping down trying to get a review. They probably gonna send one anyway, and it might not be to your liking. So you want to do everything you can, try to make sure that they have a great experience, because you definitely don't want those bad Google reviews. All right, guys, so this right here is the 0 callback checklist. You guys can get a copy of this bad boy, but the link down in the description down there. This is free for you guys. There's no need to pay. I made this up because I thought it would be something that it would be great for me to have when I started out. So with you guys starting out and keeping your job, I would advise you to go down below, grab it. You can print it out. I have it like this. I'll have 2 links set up, or maybe, just one. I have 1 link set up. I'll give you one that's a little more, pretty. And then this one right here is just a Google Doc. You can have both of them. It doesn't really matter. But guys, LP with S&W Service and Repair. If this helps you out, I do hope that you come back, subscribe to the channel for more appliance repair business owner content. Keep your job, start a business. Run with it for a little while, see if you like it. Do not just quit your job, because everybody tells you this the best thing since sliced bread, and they could be lying to you, or their temperament and the way that they're built up in life, it goes with them. This may not go with you. You may not like it. So make sure you're doing yourself a favor and doing yourself justice. Check it out first. This is LP, S&W Service and Repair. Like, share, and subscribe, and tell me in the comments what you guys want to hear next, what you guys need help with, so we can make a video for you. All right?